Hello, I hope you guys are doing pretty well. I'm doing fine. I'm post my 2 12-hour shift now, and now I can finally rest and I'm off for 2 days. So today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different from what I'm used to. So we're gonna be hatching baby brine shrimp eggs. I know it's crazy, so let's do it. That's the brine that we're gonna be using. You're gonna be using the brine shrimp eggs from Brine Shrimp Direct or Direct. I really don't know how you say it, but they say it's 100% brine shrimp eggs. And when I initially wanted to buy this brine shrimp egg, so I had like two options. The first option that I had was using pretty popular, everybody knows, aquarium core brine shrimp eggs, and they also have like some really good reviews on them as well. But I did not go to this route because I thought that by buying it from the website it would actually take ages to actually come to me in Florida, and I was wrong. And the way that I find out that I was wrong is by buying other things on the website as well, which I'm gonna be making videos as soon as I'll get them at home. So they're literally gonna be coming in next week, and it's probably like 5 maybe 6 days for them to leave the facility to come to my place, and I'm pretty happy about it. I could have get the brine shrimp eggs there, but I didn't, and yeah. So it's not really a matter of it's gonna really take a long time just because we bought it from the website. I'll say just because I did not really know how it works, and yeah. So if you really want to get brine shrimp eggs, Aquarium Corp is a really good option because everybody knows them, and also Amazon is a pretty good option as well. And the other reason that I bought this from Amazon as well, besides of the fact that it's gonna come really fast, is from Aquarium Corp options. Like the options were really limited, so I didn't really want like this small amount of brine shrimp eggs for my money, and I think there is like way much more value for this one than getting the one on Aquarium Corp stuff. And this one is from Brine Shrimp Direct. Brine Shrimp Direct is also well known by a lot of people in the hobby, so I trust them, to be honest, because I also had another product from them, which is like a soft coloring palette that they also send me a sample without even asking. That's crazy. I got this from my local fish club as well beforehand, but this came with the order, like this brine shrimp eggs that I received today, and I'm also going to be using it with my shrimp. And I also think that I'm going to start feeding my shrimp this palette pretty frequently and see if it's actually working the way that I think it works, because the way that it works for me, or I think it works, is you just give it to the shrimp, and then like the day after, I'm not even joking, the day after everything was red, and then you like slowly it start dying off. So I really don't know like what it is, or maybe I was wrong when it comes to like using this palette, but for me it works. It does work. I just don't feed it regularly to my shrimp because my shrimp is kind of like a low setup thing. I try to as minimal as possible so that I don't disrupt the environment and let the shrimp thrive and do what they're supposed to be doing. And they're doing pretty well because I have like a good amount of shrimp pregnant right now, and I should have a bunch of baby shrimps pretty soon. But I'm not getting like this bright, really red colors now, and that's what I'm trying to work on. But I'm not actively working on it. That's the reason why I'm not feeding them this soft palette. But I think I'm gonna be doing this for 2 weeks and let you guys know how it turns out when it comes to like using this palette. But today we're gonna be using this brine shrimp eggs, and I'm gonna be doing it the unconventional way. So let's show you what we are gonna be doing, or what we are going to need. All right, what are we gonna need in order to hatch the shrimps? I bought this 1 gallon container at the thrift store 2 weeks ago. And the reason why I bought it is because I was thinking about like, I'm gonna get the brine shrimp pretty soon, and that's what I really want to use to hatch them. And I just find out that the recommended way to actually hatch them was like using a cone, which I do not have because this is not a cone. This is kind of like a cube, not rectangular, but also cube shape. And hopefully it's not really bad. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using to hatch them for 24, maybe 48 hours. That's gonna be the main container that I'm gonna be using. Gonna put it down because it's pretty heavy. And the other thing that I'm gonna be using is this air stone that I also brought about like, let's say 1 week ago. It's pretty small, but I think should be enough to give aeration to the baby brine shrimps, so that they can get enough oxygen on this container once I'm gonna put them. And it was probably $5, maybe $6 maximum. Don't quote me on this. Got bad at Petco. I know it's really bad. And the other thing that I'm gonna be using is this can opener. This can opener is really ugly, and the reason why it's ugly is because I was using it one day and I put it on the stove. I forgot about it and I removed it, and then it just looked like this ever since. Really ugly. And this is not gonna be something that will open easily. That's the way that the top look like, same as the bottom as well. So I'm gonna try to open it with this, or if it doesn't really work, I'm gonna try to use a knife to do it the Asian way, where you just poke a hole on it, and then you're gonna just try to put it on the sides slowly and slowly and slowly, but carefully. And other than that, I had a 40 to probably 40-60 max hair pump that I bought as well, but this was a month ago, and it has like 2 distinct holes on it that I used to as hair bubble, or as air bubbler for this 55-gallon where I put my swordtails at. So I took one of the section of the compartment on the pump to provide it to this 1 gallon that I'm gonna put the brown shrimp in, and then I just redo the whole system and put it back on my tank, so that the swordtails that I have on the tank, they still have the bubbler, more oxygen on the tank as well. So I'm not using the full tank, but I'm kind of like not the tank, I'm not using the full pump, but I'm kind of like using a section of the pump to do it. But it's just gonna be temporarily until I get my brine shrimp to hatch, and then to put them on something else, like a mold that I bought on Amazon as well, that I'm just gonna show you guys. Just give me a second. So this is the last thing, really important, that I also brought on Amazon that came in yesterday. It's a mold for gummies, but I'm not gonna be using it for gummies because I'm not making any gummies. I'm just gonna be using it to store some brine shrimp eggs. And the way that I had this idea is by looking at a lady on YouTube, and she made a whole channel about it, like feeding her guppies and telling stories, which is pretty crazy. But hey, props to her, because hey, at the end of the day, it's still work, and she's dedicated to it. She's entertaining people by doing it, and also giving people ideas like me. So I use it to come up with this. So like the thing that she does is she feeds her guppies, and she doesn't really just feed guppies, because I do think like if she only fed guppies, like nobody will be interested about it. So she has like this whole like gigantic bowl and like rectangular stuff, like the whole thing that she used to house the guppies has dark weight on it and everything. But she used like like a separator or something at the surface, where you see like dark weight all around, but like the main thing that she used that has different shape for every single video, sometimes it doesn't have any dark weight, so you can actually see the fish, and then she just like feed the fishes through this hole, and then she tells a story. And I think one time she used like one of those molds, and then I was like, oh, let me look into it, which I did. And I ended up buying 1, 2, 3, 4 like 4 mold, but it came into like one pack that I bought like for $5, and that's pretty much a month, maybe 2 months worth of baby brine shrimp. Once I will actually hatch them and put them in the fridge. So I'm pretty happy about it. That's a pretty good investment, because last time when I went to this fish store to actually get some baby brine shrimp, this whole thing was close to $10 for only one small rack that only had like probably 30 small cubes in it. That's a little crazy, because I'm like feeding my fish right now to breed them. So one thing that I realized, like with feeding to breed fish, you do get the most out of the fish when you fed them a little more, or when you give them more food than you would have given them if you were just keeping them as a hobby or as decoration. And that's something that I've seen with one of the platies that are about like weeks ago, and then she's like 2 inches right now. And the thing that I did with her is instead of like giving her food every other days or every 2 or maybe 3 days, and just let her eat algae or the plantain on the tank. So I would just like feed her regularly. And then right now she's big, so you can actually like see the full potential of the fish instead of, you know, just small fish. It's just like staying small just because you're not really feeding the fish frequently. So yeah, you can, if you're breeding like breeding fish, while you're kind of like raising fish to breed them, like feeding them is really important, and what you do feed them is important as well. Because I've also seen that they are way much more interested about like some specific food, some food than others. And I really don't know much about like what kind of food that they really do like, because my go-to are either baby brine shrimp or the red worm, the frozen red worm. I'm gonna try to start maybe a frozen red worm colony once I have some time and look into it. But feeding is really important, really extremely important when it comes to feeding fish. My angel are thriving right now, and they only start thriving when I start feeding them regularly. Like I'll feed them probably like 5 times max, but not big portion because I really don't want it to stay at the bottom of the tank. But like 5 times maximum, or at like a 2 hours interval if I'm gonna be stuck at home like for a whole day, because they're always up to eating something, because they just eat something and they poop, you know. So it's not like it's gonna really stay in the stomach and then digest and stuff like that. Or they do it, but it's really fast. But still, like if you really want to breed fish, like feed them regularly, but don't feed them to the point that, you know, you have like fish, or you have like fish food at the bottom, and then you have to do water changes because, you know, they start acting up and they're really weird. But just like feed them regularly. Do not miss a feeding. Well, I can miss a feeding because I happen to the best of us, but still feed your fish. Other thing that you guys need as well is salt. This is sea salt. I really don't know how I'm gonna dose this. I'm just gonna go with instinct, to be honest. Not gonna try to do much. And the tubing. These two, really important. That'll be pretty much it. So right now, let's go open this can. So we are finally done opening it. We are going to see what it looks like inside. It looked like dust, to be honest. I thought that they would have been way much more bigger. Oh my god. Look like small dust.